And we're live.
No more doubts. No more doubts. No more doubts. No more doubts.
Good morning. Good morning. Today is June 25th, 2023. We welcome you to New York Buddhist Church Sunday service streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. We will begin with quiet sitting. Please sit up straight, feet flat on the floor. Gently calm your mind and follow your breath.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Today's suture chant is Jusege, of reaffirming the vows, Tan Nembutsu Akoko Merit Chants, on page 55. Following chant, Vandan Tisaran on page 7. Today's reading are the verses reaffirming the vows Jusege in English, on page 117 and 118. Reverend Isabel Shinjo Bernard will share today's Dharma message. Our clothing gathas are Ondoku-san 2 and Nembutsu on page 134 and 135. Namu Amida Butsu.
Ah Namandabs.
Namandabs,
Namandabs.
namandabs, 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 namandabs.
Would you please all rise for the Vandana and Tisarana on page 7?
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama
Please be seated. Welcome everybody to today's service. It's so great to have you here. Our reading today is the Jusege in English. We just chanted it in Japanese, and so we often chant the Jusege, and I thought it would be a nice opportunity to recite it together in English. So let's turn to page 117. The Jusege, verses reaffirming the vows. And please join with me. I have made unrivaled vows and will reach the highest path. If I fail in any way, may I not attain Buddhahood. Should I not provide to all for countless kalpas to come, aid in times of suffering, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will reach enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice the noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to reach the supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom, I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands. Light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly light. Giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone, I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion. Bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows, I shall be a guide to all. Like the wisdom of my teacher, may my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens' wondrous flowers rain down upon all the lands. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. And now today, our Dharma message will be given by Reverend Isabel Shinjo Bernard.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And happy Pride Day. Isn't it lovely that the sun came out so that everyone can march nice and dry? It's the start of summer, but where I live, we had tremendous rainstorms the last few days, so much so that I thought we'd have to build an ark. Though when it's sunny every day with perfectly clear skies, that becomes redundant, doesn't it? And it seems like perhaps we need some cloudy, rainy days for us to truly appreciate the beauty of summer. And it seems like we may have to experience frustration and disappointment in our lives to truly appreciate the good and pleasant days. So each year we anticipate all the lovely things we do during the summer, and we wait eagerly to go to the beach and sit in the sun and have barbecues and all the fun things. And then it's over. And we're caught up in a whirlwind of busyness in the last portion of the year, and itself fades out by the new year until it reoccurs again. So one of my favorite things about the warmer months is watching the seasonal change. The trees go from being completely bare to glowing in color. It is so green, and the canopy of trees and the light filtering through, creating this wonderful shade where it's cool and we can rest underneath. It's a great pleasure to have the 4 seasons to appreciate here in the Northeast, although it's somewhat poignant. I'm always reminded at the end of the fall that time moves forever forward. So there is a movie discussion group that we started here earlier this year, and I've much enjoyed the content of the discussions, which are led by Brian and Matthew. One will be led by Kwan this summer, and they are very knowledgeable about film lore, and they tie the themes back into our exploration of Jodo Shinshu in our discussion groups. So if you love movies and you love discussing them with other people who love movies, consider joining the discussion. The link is on our website community page. So today I thought, for my Dharma talk, I'd share my thoughts on a movie I saw some years ago, which impacted me deeply on many, many levels. The movie Mr. Holmes was a British production starring the great British actor Ian McKellen. Has anyone seen it? Oh my goodness. I found it very moving, with an outstanding storyline and fantastic ending. Fantastic acting, and it had a very Jodo Shinshu message too. The contents stayed with me for some time afterwards. It was a very compelling story about a real, relatable person, although he is fictional in origins. The character front and center is Mr. Holmes, yes, the Sherlock Holmes. And he's brought to life in a brilliant performance by Ian McKellen. He brings to life a personality that in other portrayals is distant, pompous, very intellectual, but emotionally unrelatable. But in this film, Mr. Holmes has aged. He's in the twilight of his life, and he's coming to grips with his humanity, his regrets, his despair, and his loneliness. So to set the stage, it's 1947, 2 years after the Great War, and in a remote farmhouse in Sussex, England, lives an elderly gentleman who's being cared for by a housekeeper who has a young son. We meet Mr. Holmes, and we see he is a man of great pride, considerable intellectual prowess, but with a very insular view of life. Although he notices everything around him in great detail, he does not know himself, in spite of having reached the venerable old age of 93. He's retired from the detective business following a great tragedy in which a young woman ended her life. As Holmes has aged, he realized he was increasingly losing his memory, his keen faculties were becoming clouded, and in his sad and increasingly isolating situation, he seeks for and eventually peers through a window back in time in pursuit of his elusive memories that he can no longer touch. But what he encounters instead is a mirror that reveals his deepest self to him, replete with many regrets, unfulfilled desires, and his deep and profound loneliness. Leonard Cohen, who's a Canadian singer-songwriter, famously said, "There's a crack in everything, that's what lets the light in." It's certainly true for me. If it wasn't for the darkness inside, how would I appreciate the light? It is in looking inward that we come to know ourselves, and it's a lifelong journey through unrepeatable moments in time that make up our lives. And it is true for Holmes as well. He's affected profoundly by his insights, and with them come frustration and regrets. But this changes his perspective on how he wishes to live out the rest of his days, going from this insular self-focus, expansive, life-affirming one. He learns to open his heart and to allow himself to change and to love. I left the theater with so much appreciation for this story that was so much greater than I'd expected. For in the end, the mystery that Mr. Holmes solves is the great one we all face. That is, what is the point of our human lives? Have we lived in a meaningful way? How have our choices affected us and others? How have they rippled out to affect the world we live in? Have we allowed others to touch us and teach us how to live? Lessons are everywhere, and our lives require resilience. We need to be able to survive and to thrive in the face of change, which Buddhism teaches us is the only reality we can truly know. Life is constantly moving, changing form and shape, like the winds of autumn. We need adaptability to stand up to the constant changes, and more importantly, to see ourselves with clarity. We need to acknowledge the interconnectedness of all lives, of all existence. Mr. Holmes' isolationist, egocentric life strategy failed him in the end, as change cannot be prevented, only acknowledged. And our lives are made broader, richer, and fuller once we acknowledge all the conditions that make it possible for us to live this unrepeatable life. Our teacher, Shinran, notes that everyone has been our mother, father, sister, and brother in previous lives. And this means nurturing our own hearts to guard against hurting others. We may face yet another difficult election season in 2024, and considering the recent past, it is difficult not to be caught up in judgment. I worry about my becoming isolationist like Mr. Holmes, walled in by my own judgmental mind, with the divisive rhetoric we are subject to on the political scene. It's difficult to remember the precious tenets of the Buddhist teachings, but perhaps I can try. Perhaps we can all try to simply reach out to others. Dana of body, of smiles, of self, courtesy, respect, conversation. I've become more aware of simple exchanges, and it seems that perhaps so has others. For as our days flow in our small worlds, we are standing center in a larger world. Yet, how contradictory is it that if that is our sole perspective? For we also create the stream of history that we know. And as the saying goes in Japanese, shikata ga nai, this too will pass. Change is inevitable. But personal growth is always possible, aided by others who may appear unexpectedly to teach and help us. Like leaves that reveal the seasonal movement of time, going from the vibrant greens that we have now in spring and now summer, we know they will blaze into shades of red, gold, and brown and descend to the ground in lovely spiral dances once their lives are ending. And we each, too, have our own shapes, size, color, and special beauty. Fall is my favorite season. Watching the falling leaves and breathing in the crisp air, the scent of the earth as we transition from autumn into winter. This progression, season after season, of nature transforming itself and then resting before it renews itself again in spring, is so poignant and so beautiful. So the Japanese poet Ryokan wrote a haiku that I often quote. It's one of my favorites. Showing front, showing back, maple leaves fall. And in our lives, we too have front and back. And our personal egos require we present a beautiful front to others and hide what is not beautiful, what we fear is unacceptable to others or to our society. But that means not loving ourselves fully, keeping ourselves from loving fully and living fully. Isn't that what pride's about today? We live this way not realizing it is our backside that is guiding us, our karmic residue, those experiences at the foundation of our lives that we've had in the past, that we may be unconscious of at the present time. However, consider again, if it wasn't for the darkness, how would we come to truly appreciate the light? So rather than shun the darkness, we can embrace it, knowing that Amida embraces us just as we are. As Leonard Cohen says, we all have cracks, and thank goodness for those, for they allow us to realize our true humanity and come to realize in gratitude that Amida Buddha accepts me, accepts us just as we are. Namo Amida Butsu. So all the experiences and encounters that we have in our lifetime, all the subjective judgments that we make, good and bad, form the basis of the decisions we make on our journeys through life. But we live mostly ignoring this. We're veiled. Our perspective is veiled by what we call bamboo, or our foolishness. The teachings of Jodo Shinshu enable us to look deeply within ourselves and let Amida kindly illuminate our darker side gently with compassion so we can clearly see the potency of our self-centeredness, how ignorant, arrogant, and foolish we really are. Although Jodo Shinshu is called the easy path, it takes enormous effort to accept and see ourselves with clarity as Amida Buddha sees us. And so often, this is what I call the uneasy path. Seemingly impossible to achieve such clarity as inevitably we pull the focus back to our front, where we feel comfortable and safe. But it is only through Amida that we are able to see our entire selves as we truly are. And we are able to see our interconnection to all others, to all of life itself. We are able to see within Namo Amida Butsu that we are embraced by infinite compassion and infinite life, just as we are. Please join me in Gassho. Showing front, showing back, maple leaves fall. How grateful I am for the interdependent, interconnected dynamics of this life that support me and allow me to grow in the Dharma. How grateful I am for the Buddha's embrace of me, just as I am. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for listening.
Can you all please stand for the Gatha, Onrok San 2, page 134, and Nembutsu on page 135.
Yo
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Dots. Namo Dots.
So this concludes our service for today. Thank you, Isabel, for that beautiful Dharma talk. And also, it's our Pride Marching Day, and our group is going to be assembling. Let's see, I've got to find the address. The group will be assembling downtown today at 3:45. If you want to join, need to find the location. Okay. So Daiko and New York Buddhist Church are going to be leading the Pride March today, our group, and the formation will take place on 26th Street between 5th Avenue and Madison, and so if you want to join, you have to come and join the group from Madison Avenue. So 3:45, they'll start marching, and it's really an interesting experience if you haven't done it before. This is a time that we would like to welcome our newcomers. So if we have anybody this is their first time coming here, Lily's all ready. So please introduce yourself and tell us how you came to be here today.
Hi, I'm Tushar. I've been, slightly practicing Buddhism for 2 years now. I live, a few blocks away, and I thought I would join a community and actually learn more about this faith that's amazing and, helping me find peace.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tanushka. I'm Tushar's cousin, and I was in New York for the weekend, so I came along with him.
Thank you for joining us. We always welcome everybody. So, anyone else? It's great. So we want to thank everybody who has helped us with the service today. First of all, Isabel with her beautiful Dharma talk. John Skelly is our pianist. Our tech team, David Brady, Carl Palma, and Lily Sakai Johnson, who I think just recently graduated, right, Lily? Okay, she's going into high school, yay. And thank you, the person who doesn't want to be acknowledged for our flowers. She's very humble, so thank you. And we have a lot of people who are working in the back too. Today, there's a whole group of people that got out a mailing this morning. They came in early. We have people up in the office that are handling the funds that come in and thanking people for their contributions. So there's a lot going on within our church, and if you're interested in helping and volunteering too, there's a lot to do. Ruth, were you the greeter today? I'm sorry, I didn't. Okay, David was the greeter today, so thank you. We have a lot of activities that are coming up. And actually, first and foremost, the Pride March, which is going to take place today, and our Taiko group, Sodaiko, and a group for the New York Buddhist Church will be participating. And if you can't join with them, why don't you join along the march too? Because there's a lot of people along the sidelines that are greeting and encouraging the marchers. Next week is our July Shotsuki Hoyo monthly memorial service, and that's on July 2nd, and we're going to be observing Reverend Hosen Seki's memorial service. He was the founder of New York Buddhist Church 85 years ago. So he is a pivotal person in the growth of the New York Buddhist Church. Our Obon service is going to be with Reverend Kurt Rai, and that's on July 16th. He'll be joining us on camera. And we're going to be doing a tri-temple service down at the Willow Grove Obon, Willow Grove Cemetery. It's an Obon service in New Brunswick, New Jersey. That's on July 22nd. This is a time where the temples from New York Buddhist Church, Seabrook, New Jersey, and Ekoji down in Virginia, we all come together and we observe a service for students who were at Rutgers University who passed away in the late 1860. Can you imagine that? They were students at Rutgers, and of course their families aren't around anymore to observe, so we always go down and have a service for them. And it's a great opportunity for us to come together. Yes. Oh, Brian Nagata will be the speaker too. There's also, Isabel mentioned the movies. Buddha Goes to the Movies. Our next one is on July 21st, and they're going to talk about The Last Jedi. So all you people who are interested in Star Wars, please join us. We'll get all the information out on our webpage and also on MailChimp. Anything else that I have overlooked? Pardon? Oh, okay. We will also have a guest speaker this month, Reverend Chiemi Bly, who's with the Twin Cities Sangha. And she has always wonderful things to tell. She leads our Howakai, the Japanese language study group. So if you'd love to, well, she's bilingual, so she speaks in both languages. And so we all are happy that you're here today. And let's close together in Gassho, in gratitude for this opportunity for us all to come together as one Sangha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.